Hey, what's going on, guys? Lone coming at you with a long-awaited Rustedit tutorial, guide, tip video, whatever you want to call it. This one is going to be going over a very helpful feature for every mapper in the community. This is a prefab that I've put together of the Rust assets, so by all means, there's nothing really custom here other than the entire platform itself. So what is this? This is basically a little mini canvas of all of the, not all of, but nearly all of the essential prefabs that you could use to construct your custom monuments or any sort of custom prefabs, for instance. This does not include every prefab, however, I laid this out in a way to where you could use this as a reference guide. For instance, the piles, there are multiple variations of each pile, but I only included one so that way you could use it as a reference point. So how do you actually get this prefab and use it for your own map making abilities? So first of all, you can go in the link in the description to download this prefab, and then you're going to locate your Rustedit download directory and then go to the custom prefabs folder. That's where you're going to add this prefab within. Once you do that, you can open up Rustedit just like I have here. You can search in your prefabs list. You can just search lone prefab pack. You can double click it and then it'll appear on the screen. Depending on your hardware, it may take a moment to actually load in. This is about, I think, 1,400 prefabs, give or take. Yeah, 1,400 prefabs, so it might take a moment. I tried to be as reserving as possible with prefabs. Like I said, it does not include every single prefab, but it includes a lot of the core ones as well as an organized layout so you know what's what. So this is basically all of the functional prefabs such as doors, hobo barrels, SAM sites, workbenches, etc. This section is all the lights. This one's a little hard to look at, but here you can see nearly every single light in the game, if not all of them. Then I have one for crates. These are non-functioning crates, by the way. These are just static ones that you cannot loot. They're just decorative pieces. This is the spawners. So anything that you want to spawn in the game natively, you can do, such as the loot. So no plugins are relying on this. Even the crane. I did shrink this down to about 30% of the size just so it would actually fit on this this little toolkit for you guys. This one is the volumes. I even added a few instructions on the volumes themselves just to help you out. So in case you weren't sure what they do, you can get a little bit of a hint from the signs. I also want to include this one, is kind of hard to see. This is the fog volume, but it really starts to show up if you, there we go, if you increase the size of it. So basically what you would use this for is like an underground cave system if you wanted it to have a little bit of an ambiance feel to it. Anyway, so that's volumes. The next one is cubes. This is pretty much every textured cube in the game. Then we have barrels, and then we have every single world model. I would like to mention world models typically don't have any LOD properties, which is level of detail, as well as render distance. So not all, but some of these will render quite far. So I would recommend using world models to a very minimal count on your map. Otherwise, you'll have a lot of prefabs that render infinitely and can impact client performance, such as your players. And then this section is just other props, basically anything you want to dress up like the interior of your building with or the exterior, stuff like that I think would be pretty handy to build with. Like this metal table you could use for like a nice wall texture if you wanted to, just by flattening it or turning it sideways. The piles, as I mentioned earlier, each one of these has multiple variations, so you could actually search these as a reference point. So if you wanted to see the rest of the rubble piles, you could just search rubble pile in the prefab list. So rubble pile, and then as you can see, there's all the other ones here. And then the other ones are the walls and fences. These are just the more common walls and fences that you would construct a monument with. These do even include the new military prefabs as well, such as the cardboard wall, as well as the double stacked barricade, which is pretty cool. However, at the time of this video, this is only accessible on the staging branch, Aux 1. So after November force wipe, you should be able to see these within your Rustedit by default. Otherwise, you'll have to locate the staging branch files for your Rustedit within the config. But yeah, guys, I hope this prefab helps you out a lot. I use this on a daily basis with pretty much all of my builds. I recommend anybody to use it. It's very lightweight. You don't have to boot up a map or anything like previous, which I do recommend having a prefab map as well. There's been several creators in the past that have made them, and they are awesome. The only downside for me personally is once you start building on it a lot and prefabs just add up and it impacts performance. So having a prefab that you can just plop in on any environment, you can already be in a map and you can just drop this down and use it as a little reference point. It's very helpful. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy this video and enjoy the prefab link down below. If there's any suggestions you have or any other prefabs or categories I should add to this, please comment down below and I can do that. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.